Hey guys, what's happening? Thank you if you're live on this call or watching the recording. We're about to go through how to dominate the marketing plan for end of month, because if you guys who are listening to this don't know, your volume points for basically all the qualifications prior to supervisor, they reset tomorrow. So by 12 o'clock Adelaide time, whatever that is, wherever you are, those volumes, that volume that you may have done, maybe 100 volume points, 200, 300, 400, whatever it is, it actually disappears into next month. So we just want to run through some really basic stuff and then talk a little bit about the marketing plan. I just think it'll be super beneficial for everyone. But, you know, Herbalife was built on that ancient concept of use, wear, talk. And we're just going to touch over that quickly because we really hit it heavy on the other calls. So they've all been recorded, guys, so you can flick back and watch all the videos that you need to be able to do that, to be able to brush up on that. So there's so many, like if you guys want training, if you just go to the videos bit on Herba Family, there is so much stuff, guys, that we've put up for you. Not to mention the links that we've shared from recordings as well. Like there's so much resources. So my biggest tip to everyone who wants to succeed in Herbalife, just realize that, you know, I always seen the first 3 years of my business, which seems like a long time, but my first 3 years of my business is my apprenticeship. Actually, when I qualified president's team, which for you guys who don't know, it's the top 1% of Herbalife. It took me 4 years and 11 months, and I said off the stage in Adelaide, I feel like my apprenticeship's over now, and I can actually get to work. Like I've done enough learning to be able to actually put some of these things together. So it doesn't mean that you can't learn as we roll along. I don't know any fully qualified apprentices, I guess, if that was my apprenticeship, that earned 45 grand a month, to be honest. So it's a good apprenticeship to do. So, but let's rip into it, guys. Obviously, why do we use the products? So we know what we're talking about, so we know how we feel, so we can develop the passion, so we can feel amazing. But not only that, our own health. You know, how can you achieve great things in the world if you don't have that physical support system that can support your ambition? So that's why we use the product, so we're healthy and we can actually do what we want to do. But from a business perspective, if we're looking at a business, because I always ran my business as a business, and a lot of people kind of treat it as like a hobby or a part-time thing, but I always thought of it as a business. Not saying that I invested a lot of money or any of that traditional stuff with business. Like I didn't have to, spend 20,000 on a fit out for a restaurant or something like that. Like it was just the $80. But I always had the mindset that it was a business. And I think that's kind of what separates people as well. And I always thought, okay, so if my marketing expenditure is me spending money on money I'd be spending anyway, I'm buying, toast, cereal, pancakes, eggs, bacon, whatever it is, what I was eating prior to Herbalife for breakfast anyway, and just transferring that into a shake that cost $2, then it made sense to me, right? So, and I've done that with all the products. I just slowly tried to add everything into my program. I actually started on the Ultimate because, my sponsor said to me, I'm a pretty simple guy, and if things make sense, I just like, okay, I'll do it, especially if they've achieved success in something that I want to, and they've said, this is what I've done. So it doesn't have to be, there was no color there for me. It was black and white, and he said I started on the Ultimate Pack because I wanted to get the quickest result I could. And I said, okay. So I just jumped on. I had no money. I was like nearly 200 grand in debt. Not good debt, not house debt. It was like debt. And I had no money. And I thought, well, what's an extra $300? So I grabbed my Ultimate and I got started. I lost 15 kilos in my first 3 months and lost 20 overall. But my energy is what actually started my business, guys, from a use perspective. So I wanted to smash the products because A, that's what they said, but B, it made sense. My energy changed. People actually noticed that I wasn't like a walking, being Halloween, right? All the trick-or-treaters are out the front, but I wasn't a walking zombie. I wasn't, I've always been a fairly positive and optimistic person, but just my energy levels were so low just from being overworked, trying to save the business that we're in, maybe stress as well. After that third day, that energy unlocked and I was up and about. Like I felt like I was walking on the air. I was, jumping around the house. My partner at the time was like, "Whoa, what's wrong with you?" type of thing, like it was a bad thing. And importantly for me, the guys at the office noticed, and they said, "I don't know what you're on, but give me some because I need your energy." And I made $700 profit in my first 10 days. And I didn't know what I was doing. We didn't have all the training support you guys have. I was just like, here you go, give me the money, cool. That's pretty much how I did the business. So that's why I use the products, because that's what they actually told me to do, right? So it just made sense. So I just thought, the more products I use, the more stories I have, and I understand that sales is largely, you can have all your facts and your benefits and all that stuff, but if you don't have a testimonial, or you can't borrow someone else's testimonial for a product, then then it's going to be really hard to get people to jump on the products. But if you can say, hey, this is what happened to me, they're not really going to have to, and they can see it. There's not going to be too many objections, guys, because they're like, obviously it works for you. I'm going to give it a crack for me, right? So that's the use part. The wear part, obviously it's just been an obvious Herbalife member. You can see I'm wearing a hat. Some days I'm fully kitted up for no other reason apart from I've been to so many Herbalife events. I've got like heaps of merch, so I just put it on, right? But I just wear what I want to wear. I feel like I'm my own boss and I can do what I want, right? That's why we got into Herbalife for freedom, not to wear uniforms and stuff. But in saying that, I'm always got some type of branding on. I've sold 3 programs from wearing this. Actually, it wasn't this hat. It was a little hat that had a littler symbol, like Herbalife 24 there in the symbol. When I first come to Albury, and they were like, oh, that stuff, I've been on it. It was good. Give me some. So I was like, okay, like when we first moved here. So that's how simple the business is. If you're putting yourself in front of people as well, it's important to do, right? Like just be obvious. The other the key principle for you guys to understand from the wear component is people have to know what you're doing, and they have to know facts about the company. Some people, they either don't know it exists, so they don't know you can help them. They don't know you can help them. And the other thing, they don't understand, or they've heard a little bit, and you just have to fill in the gaps. And whether that be a negative or positive little bit, you just have to say, I don't know about that, but what I do know is this. And that's where you insert your testimonial, right? So the wear component for me is like your PR. So not only being an obvious Herbalife member, but being a proud Herbalife member because you're really passionate about your products, result, and you're really passionate about helping people as well. After some of the testimonials we've seen from that 21-day challenge that just went through are crazy, guys. You should be proud of that and proud to help more people achieve that, right? Or when you help your first client lose, like for example, today I got this message from a client, all right? And this chick has basically no immunity. She was one of those ones where she got an infection, went to hospital, got a staph infection, got like 3 fingers chopped off, like terrible, terrible story, just from a little thing. It just like escalated out of control. And this is the message I got today. All of a sudden she's got asthma. She's never had she's 40 and never had asthma. And all of a sudden she's waking up with asthma. Her immunity's shot. She's always getting sick, 0 energy. And I'll find this message for you guys because it get you pumped up. Here it is. So this is what I got just out of the blue today. Okay, so I took 6 days from starting the program. It seems I have my mojo back today. Yes, in like big letters, apostrophes. No wheezing this morning. And I called her straight away and she's like, my energy's crazy. I feel great. Like I actually just feel good again. And I haven't felt good for like 5 years. So when you start to feel good again after 5 years of not, sometimes you don't know how bad you feel until you start feeling good. Okay, so that's the wear. Just being a proud Herbalife member and how you translate that through a hat, through wearing the merch, through carrying around your drink bottle. Just do your thing and whatever you feel comfortable with. You've got the buttons as well. They're a massive success as well. If you can swallow your ego a bit, sometimes it's a little bit daunting and people don't like to do it. But, especially the I've lost X amount, they're really popular amongst the group as well because they work. And the last bit is it ties into 1 and 2, right? We use the products, we wear the brand so we can talk to people. That's the underlining of the business. And the more people you can talk to, the more no's you can get, the more objections you can get, the more crazy reasons why people stop the products, the more crazy reason why people start the products, like all the stuff that goes with helping people in a really express period of time. If you can collect, if you can make your goal to collect 10 no's a day, starting as a new member in Herbalife and just messaging people, but not like a blanket text, because that doesn't work, guys. Like, actually be interested in people. Hey, how are you? What's going on? How's the kids? How's work? How's footy? Or depending on how you know them, and actually talk to them, and then just say, hey guys, I just started a new business. Do you know anyone who wants to be healthy? That type of stuff, guys. Talking to people, not just like and I'm just talking from experience, because when I left my first Herbalife meeting, I was so pumped. I was like, you think I'm pumped now? I was like through the roof pumped. And then we went and had a couple of beers after with Rowan, my sponsor, because that was the promise. That's what actually got me into the meeting. So you can imagine, you put a little bit of alcohol on top of that, and I was like raging type of pumped. And I got home and I'm like, what do I do with it, right? Like, I don't know what to do. No one's told me anything. It was just an open house type of thing, like a show through of Herbalife. So I jumped on Facebook and literally sent the same message to 553 people or something. Literally, maybe 10 wrote back, and maybe I think one person might have started the products, because people don't like that stuff, guys. That's like spam, right? But if you actually converse with people, what I've learned over time is you get a lot better result, because you're not just, you're interested. If you can figure out what problem it is that you have to solve, and you can solve that using the Herbalife business opportunity or the Herbalife products, you're in business. If you can ask enough questions to get them telling you where you can help them, and it's not that hard to do, maybe it's just that extra one, and you can just say, hey, this is why this is going to help you, and this is, hey, this is what we can do, this is why it's going to help you, then you're going to have a lot of success. So that's like the use, where, talk component of Herbalife. The company's literally gone to 7.1 billion on this, which is crazy. And because it translates all borders. If you don't build your business on use, where, talk, you're setting yourself up for a massive spiky business and a terrible time. If you want to build a consistent business that grows and grows and grows, year on year, quarter by quarter, is the only way to do it. The other thing that we have a really strong philosophy on in our business is the events. It makes sense. If you join up, let's say, I want to be a lawyer, and you're like, okay, so you just walk in the courthouse with your briefcase and a suit on. Like that's not how this works. You have to learn how to do it, and you have to consider yourself a student forever, because things in the marketplace change. People always figure out a way to do it better. The marketplace and the external factors out there change as well. So there's so much stuff changing out there that we can't control. And then the other thing that changes, guys, is you and what you enjoy, and your factors. Like, all of a sudden you got 2 kids, right? So things change for you. You're a bit less time poor, so you have to go learn how to do it in a time poor way, and learn from mums with new kids who are smashing it. So it just makes sense that if you want to learn something, the events are the keys. These trainings are the keys. We do them all online. There's never any excuse in my mind for people not to be on these calls. There's never any excuse for people not to be on our leadership call, which is called Royalty Workshop. And there's never any excuse not to be in the state events. Especially like when I first started, Rob Walsh said to me, if you could go to 12 days of training, Jared, and be a millionaire in royalty for the rest of your life, would you do it? And before he even finished the sentence, I was like, of course. He goes, okay, well, there's one a month. It's called the BTS or SDS, just depends on you live. Go and learn some stuff, and over time, that's going to happen for you. Like, okay. And I never missed one since. So, and sometimes that took sacrifice, and sometimes that took doing things that I wanted to do, I guess, versus doing things I needed to do that were based on my goals. And there's a difference sometimes. Sometimes your friends are at the pub and they're having a great time, and they're sending you photos, and they're you're like, wow, I'd want to be there, but I'm here because these are my goals, and that's what separates the great from the normal, I guess. So the events are so important, guys. So don't be missing them. But then there's the marketing plan, guys, and how to use it, right? And that's what the I guess the key focus on this training is. I'll just get there. Hello and soda. Depending on where you're at right now, like I was saying at the start of the call, when the stroke passes midnight Adelaide time, the volume you have will go to naught, and it'll just transfer into you going supervisor. This will be broken down more in depth when you do your goals call with your sponsor. Okay, so all I'm going to explain right now is the benefits of each step and the promos we have on for each step that in between now and supervisor, because the rest may or may not apply. We'll talk a little bit about going active supervisor and consistently doing 2.5 as an affirmation as well. But the first step on the marketing plan is what everyone here has already done, which is register to become a member. Okay, so you've paid your $80, you're in the game, you're 25%, happy days, right? The next step is what they call senior consultant. As a senior consultant, you need 500 volume points total in a month. The benefits of going senior consultant, there's so many. Number one is you get a 35% discount, so you get 10% off your products more than 25%, which is a good thing. You get 10% wholesale when you register downline as well, which is also a good thing. So what that means is you'll have to get your bank details off to Herbalife. There's a form under your Forms Bin in My Herbalife, and they'll send that off to them. And then they pay you once a month on the 15th, and whatever's gone through the warehouse, Herbalife pay that directly to you, right? So you don't have to do the accounting in this business. I love it. But you'll also get one of these hats as well. It's called the Cater Map, because there's something in Herbalife called the MAP program, and it's 3 months in a row of 500 personally purchased volume points within your first 90 days of signing up. But, and it gets you a blender. But there's no rewards for the first 2 months. So I just pay that out of my own pocket. So we get a hat, we get an Empire Squad singlet for the second month, and then the blender on the third. So it's pretty crazy, right? So you get all that thing, the blender's Herbalife branded. It's amazing. You guys will love it. But more importantly, guys, from a business perspective, you're buying the products for yourself to eat at a cheaper rate, and you're also selling them at a cheaper rate as well. And if you don't think that you can actually move like $800 worth of products to get about an $800 profit as well, you might actually be in the wrong game, guys, because that's not that much. That's what, 3 clients on the product. So you have to believe in yourself a little bit as well. But if you're brand new, leverage your sponsor. Get them to help you. Throw a business launch. Invite a whole bunch of people into the challenge that's coming up. Throw a skin party. Like, just get proactive, guys. And 500 volume points is absolutely nothing. And if you can show people if you can do that, what that means is you can show people how to do that. And then doing really good numbers when you're supervisor isn't a hard thing. But if you can show one person how to do that, and over the next 4 months you consistently do that, you'll be a supervisor. So there's a buying privilege in Herbalife as well, which is amazing. So that's senior consultant. That's the benefits of doing 500 in a month. So if you're on 100 volume points right now, to me, it would make sense just to go, I'll just stock up, because worst case scenario, 4 months time, I'll eat that anyway. If that's just your product, which is 100, and that's if you can, of course, leverage, don't mortgage your house or anything, but it makes sense to me not to slide that 100 volume points back to zero come tomorrow and then start again. But that's just me. That's just the way I think. So you might be different. It's a business decision for you. The next step, and commercially, this makes the most sense. If you're not a supervisor yet, commercially, this is the best way and the cheapest way you can actually get your products. So there's the position in Herbalife called Success Builder. What that is, it's like a buying privilege. You know how when shops buy a whole bunch of something, they get it at a cheaper rate? It's the same with us. So if we buy a whole bunch, which is 6 Ultimate packs, so it's not really a whole bunch. It's a little bit of stuff. You get that whole order at 42%. If you want to know more about this, just inbox me directly, guys, or inbox your sponsor. But basically, it's just buying 6 Ultimate packs, or whatever, however you want to break the product down. You might want to try the sports range. You might say that used component that Jared just said makes sense. So I'm going to try the skin. I'm going to try the sports. I'm going to try all the nutrition as well. And then if that will get you really, really close to 1,000 volume points anyway. So you get that whole lot at 42. What's that mean? You're going to be eating at 42, but more importantly, from a business perspective, commercially, you're going to be making 42% profit when you sell it as well. What happens in the following month? What we do is we move that on. You pocket obviously the expense, put the money you've just spent back into it again. So you're actually always at 42, right? And you're just taking the profit off the top when you sell it. If you can show people how to do that, guys, you'll go really quick in Herbalife. Okay, so that's Success Builder. The next one is called Qualified Producer. So there's a time limit on this. It's 2,500 volume points within 3 months. So what that means, and by the way, guys, these first levels that I've told you, I didn't know they existed until I was like in the business for like 12 months. They never talked about it when I first started. It was just supervisor or nothing type of thing. But that, yeah, so that's 42% permanent. You make wholesale from your downline as well. But more importantly, guys, you're really close to supervisor. You can actually do that on the end of your 3rd month, right on the buzzer, or you can do it on your 2nd day if you want. You'll still be a qualified producer. If you do that, you don't have to wait for that time period to expire. But importantly, guys, as well, you can actually do a bulk of that volume from downline. So what's that mean? It means it makes sense to start thinking, okay, I need some clients, but it also makes sense that, okay, who do I want to actually work with? We just got back from the vacation in Queenstown, the Herbalife vacation. Who do I want to go on vacations with? Who do I like? Who do I think can bring skills into my business? Who do I think will actually absolutely smash this deal? I can write these lists down of people, guys. It's actually in your map list. So if you haven't heard from that, once again, write that down. Say, sponsor, where's my map list? So you can work through it. And you build your crew, because if you can go supervisor with volume, you go world team and active supervisor like that as well, because it'll be so quick. More importantly, guys, like the aim of what we're trying to do now is find people that want to find 10 people and help 100 people all up. So between the 10 of you, you're helping 10 people each. What that will make you is active world team. But more importantly, what that actually makes you is basically have all the skills to be able to go president's team, like all the way. If you just keep repeating that process with people, you're going to have a whole bunch of people in your business working towards their goals. Your impact's going to be crazy. You're going to be helping a lot of people, both directly through your direct impact and then indirectly. Most of my business is actually overseas. People I can't even talk to literally because they speak French and I speak English. But, they're still helping people. So that's like an indirect impact, because I started that chain of events and then they're just doing it, right? So, so guys, it's quite crazy. Let's talk about supervisor. It's where you activate the marketing plan. I literally went supervisor on my 2nd day. It's 4,000 volume points in a 12-month period. It's really your first major step in Herbalife. If you're looking at the Success Builder method, it's 4 of those, or you do it, show someone how to do 2 of them. Because you can do for supervisor the 4,000 total, you can actually do 2,000 from downline, meaning you just have to put 2,000 through your ID somehow. So that's 20 clients, just to put that in perspective. So that could be over 3 months, it could be over 4 months, 5 clients over 4 months, or it could be over 1 month if you really want to ignite this thing and go super hard. And like I said, my sponsors told me a lot of things when I started, and one of them was I never had to recover from a fast start in Herbalife. It's one of those snowbally type of businesses that if you work hard for a condensed period of time, and work, you're not going to have to keep working hard forever. So if you feel like you have work ethic, you're in the right company, because you can actually work hard for a space of time and be rewarded for the rest of your life financially in particular. So guys, the goal supervisor, work out what you need to do and what your step is. Get back to me or your sponsor on how you're going to do it. Of course, for you guys who are supervisors, the goal is always 2.5. Like I always thought 2.5 has been a bad month, not the goal. Because if you do the minimum, you always get the minimum. If you do less than the minimum, you're going to get less than the minimum, right? So it's really important that we really try to help some people achieve what they want, maybe achieve some of those levels that we just went through in the marketing plan if you are a supervisor, and you'll get everything you want, guys. So let's hustle. It's end of month. I'm pumped up. I'm here to help. So if you need me, yell out, guys, and have a good end of month. Hopefully that all made sense. And we'll see you guys soon.